With it, good morning. I welcome you to the preview for 5 games today. So for Sunday, not too bad. The games are pretty spread out and they're not too late at night. So, it's not too bad of a day, and we don't have to start at 10 a.m. my time, but we do have to start at 12 at noon my time, and that'd be 3 o'clock Eastern with Winnipeg at home against Anaheim. So for the Jets, this is one of those games where it would be easy to take an opponent lightly. Now, Anaheim is 12-13-4 over their last 10. They are 3-5-2. They've been outscored 86-77 overall this season. They've been outshot an average of 31.9 to 28.8. So all the numbers are really not in Anaheim's favor. Winnipeg, on the other hand, 17-10-2. Over their last 10, they're 7-2-1. They've outscored the opposition 82-79. And they've also been outshot an average of 33.2 to 31.7. So the overall numbers do favor Winnipeg other than the shots, but people will tell you shots are a little bit overrated. Now, top scorers, Getzlaf, 10 goals, 13 assists, 23 points for Anaheim. Silverberg, 10 goals, 9 assists. Raquel, 8 goals and 11 assists. I decided to also include somebody who doesn't have a goal yet this year, since in honor of Milan Lucic and Toby Reeder getting goals for Calgary, who knows, maybe we'll start seeing other guys who haven't had a goal yet score, like Hampus Lindholm, who has 12 assists so far this season for Anaheim. They are 6 points back of the playoffs right now, Anaheim. Laine is the leading scorer for Winnipeg, 8 goals, 20 assists for him. Scheifele, 11 goals, 16 assists. Connor, 11 goals, 14 assists, and Anthony Boteto with 2 helpers. Not every team has somebody without a goal right now that you look at and say, well, that guy's got to get a goal pretty soon, like a Hampus Lindholm. The Winnipeg Jets are the number 1 wild card right now, and this series is tied at 1 apiece. Both teams have won once, and this is the last meeting they will have this season. So, honestly, I'm wearing Winnipeg. I'm clearly thinking Winnipeg probably ends up winning this game. Whether they do or don't, we will find out in a few hours' time. Moving along. Florida's at home against San Jose. So San Jose should be feeling somewhat humbled by the experience they had last night against Tampa Bay Lightning. The San Jose Sharks are now 15-14-2. Over their last 10, they're 5-4-1. So their huge rise up through the rankings is kind of stalled out, and we'll see if they can get that back. They've been outscored overall 105-85 this season. That is the most goals against of any team on the board. They've been outshot 30.1 to 29.1, so very little difference when it comes to the shots. The Florida Panthers, on the other hand, 14-9-5 overall. Over their last 10, they're 5-5. They've outscored their opposition 97-95. They've outshot their opposition 34.1 to 30.4. So again, the numbers would seem to favor the team that's at home, although San Jose fans will point out these numbers are skewed a bit by what happened early in the season, to which other people could also say, yeah, but they lost 7-1 last night in Tampa. Again, that would seem to favor Florida being at home. Both teams on the second half of back-to-backs. This could be a fun one. Starts at 2 o'clock my time, 5 o'clock Eastern. Leading scorers, Couture for San Jose, 9 goals, 20 assists. Kane, 13 goals, 10 assists. Hurdle, 10 goals, 13 assists. And Joe Thornton stands out like a sore thumb with no goals and 10 assists. He has to get one at some point. The San Jose Sharks now are 2 points back of a playoff spot, occupied by the Vancouver Canucks. On the Florida side, Huberdeau, 11 goals, 23 assists. Barkov, 9 goals, 25 assists. Keith Yandle with 2 goals, 22 assists. Matheson is as high as I could get in terms of profile when it comes to guys who don't have a goal yet. 2 assists. Not known as an offensive dynamo anyways. They're number 2 in the Atlantic. This is the first meeting between San Jose and Florida this year. Their next meeting will be February 17th in San Jose. So there you go. My battle with the sun continues as it keeps getting lower and lower and lower in the sky. It's December and all. Arizona in against Chicago. The Chicago Blackhawks. Let me straighten that out a little bit. Chicago Blackhawks. This one starts at 4 o'clock Pacific, 7 o'clock Eastern. And it features a team in Arizona that are 17-10-4. 17-10-4, that's a pretty solid record for Arizona over their last 10. They're 5-3-2 though. So we'll see how things go in Chicago tonight, where we're going to have former Blackhawks against the Coyotes, former Coyotes against the Blackhawks. Could be interesting. They've outscored the opposition 81-70. They've been outshot 32.4 to 29.6 on average. On the Chicago side, they are 12-12-5. Over their last 10, they're 4-5-1. They've been outscored 86-79. They've also been outshot 35.7 to 31.2 on average. So the numbers would seem to kind of favor Arizona. We'll see, though, with tonight, because Chicago can be really unpredictable. And you would think they should be able to score some goals. Chicago, however, Arizona doesn't like to allow goals, so we'll see how that turns out for them. Arizona's got the least amount of goals allowed on the board. Offensively, I should say, Schmaltz leads the way for Arizona with 5 goals, 15 assists. He used to be a Blackhawk. If he's going to have a big night, it could be tonight. Keller, 5 goals, 14 assists, and Dvorak, 8 goals, 10 assists. Demers stands out with 5 assists and yet to have a goal this season. On the Chicago side, Kane, 14 goals, 21 assists. DeBrincat, 7 goals, 14 assists. Strome, 6 goals, 14 assists. He, of course, having been a former Coyote. And Cuckoo is the only one I could find really of any note. 3 assists in 13 games for him, so it's not really known as an offensive defenseman. Anyways, number 2 in the Pacific is where we find Arizona. They are looking to get back to first. If Buffalo beats Edmonton and Arizona beats Chicago tonight, they'll be back in first. And Chicago, 5 points out of the playoffs currently. So it does get a little bit dicey if they find themselves falling further back. This is their first meeting. Their next meeting will be December 12th at Arizona. That will be the second of 3 meetings this year. So they will be meeting again in 4 days in Arizona. So they'll get a chance to really get to know each other. And as we've seen, teams really begin to like the players on the other team when they see them regularly. That's how that works. Next up, the Rangers at 4 o'clock, same time as this one, Pacific, 7 o'clock Eastern. The Rangers at 14-11-3 over their last 10. They're 6-3-1. And they have a chance to do to Vegas what Vegas did to them. Vegas went into New York and beat them. They get to go back to Vegas and try to do the same thing. They've been outscored overall 90-88, the Rangers. And they've been outshot 35.9 to 28.9 on average, which is not good. That's not a good shot differential right there. Now, on the Vegas side, they're 15-11-5 over their last 10. They're 6-2-2. They've outscored the opposition 90-88. So no matter what happens tonight, their numbers will still be reflective of one another. They've outshot the opposition 33.5 to 31.8 on average. So pretty good puck control game being played by Vegas. We'll see how that goes for them tonight. Leading scorers, Panarin's the leading scorer for the Rangers. Only a fool wouldn't know that. 13 goals, 21 assists. Strome, 6 goals, 18 assists. D'Angelo, 7 goals, 13 assists. And on the scoreless front, Hayek with 5 helpers. On the Vegas side, Pacioretty, 10 goals, 16 assists, leads the team in scoring. Karlsson, 8 goals, 27 assists, which equals 25 points, not 35. So I'll go ahead and change that after people have left comments saying that that's wrong. How can you... No. It is 35, but he doesn't have 35 points. 8 goals, 17 assists is what I meant to put up there in 25 points, but I put up 27 assists and made 35 points because it was Saturday night and my brain was kind of fried after all the hockey, I guess. All right. Stone, 11 goals, 13 assists, 24 points. Apologies to William Karlsson for making him think he had 10 more points than he did. It's probably like, hey, I'm having a pretty good year. Oh, 10 of my assists went away. Now, the Rangers are 6 points out of the playoffs because they're in the Metro. That's literally what it is. They have a 14-11-3 record. They are 2 points behind Florida, who are second in the Atlantic, but the Rangers are 6 points out of the playoffs. If this continues at this rate, it's going to be really interesting at the trade deadline to see teams that are higher up than others selling off players while the teams that are lower are actually in a pretty good playoff spot. It's going to be weird. The Vegas Golden Knights are third in the Pacific, and of course, as I said, Vegas won this matchup 4-1 6 days ago in New York, and now they're having their rematch tonight in Vegas. That being said, I need to change boards. All right, and we end with Buffalo and Edmonton. The Buffalo Sabres, in the midst of another challenging stretch for them, they're now 13-11-6. That was a sloppy game against Vancouver. They can't afford to play that way in Edmonton, or they can end up with a similar fate. Over their last 10, they're 3-4-5. They've scored 92 goals. They've allowed 92 goals. They've been outshot on average 32.5 to 31.0. On the Oilers side, they're 18-10-3. Over their last 10, they're 5-4-1. They've outscored the opposition 93 to 89, but they've been outshot an average of 31.6 to 28.5. The numbers here don't really favor anybody. Well, unless you look at the last 10, and then you can favor the Oilers there. And the fact that the Oilers didn't play yesterday and Buffalo did, and Buffalo's on a long road trip. This is a game that the Oilers really kind of need to win. And again, if they lost tonight in regulation, and we see the Arizona Coyotes win, the Coyotes get right back into first place in the division. All right, I don't think they need to lose in regulation. No, they don't. Anyways, your leading scorers: Eichel, 18 goals, 23 assists, 41 points for Buffalo. Olofsson, 12 goals, 14 assists. Reinhart, 11 goals, 12 assists. Scoreless, Colin Miller with 4 helpers so far for Buffalo. On the Oilers side of things, Draisaitl, 19 goals, 34 assists for him to lead the way. McDavid, 19 goals, 33 assists, right behind him. And James Neal with 14 goals and 6 assists is third on the list. Chris Russell, I put up with 4 assists. I could have put up Patrick Russell with 4 assists. They have the same total because they have to, I guess. The Buffalo Sabres are third in the Atlantic. Continuing that conversation about which division's stronger than which. They've won 13 games out of 30. And right now they're in a third place spot in the division. On the Oilers front, they are number 1 in the Pacific, and this is the first meeting between these teams. The next meeting will be January 2nd, of course, in Buffalo. So there you go. You're all set for tonight. Let me know your winners, all that other wonderful stuff in the comment section below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.